Hey, photographer. Ravi. Ravi. Sundaram.
request all the devotees to please take their respective seats so that we can start the program right away. Sadguru Pahi, respected Maharaj Ji, Sri Ramaswamy, our dear Narayan Mama, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again assembled here in the spiritually laden hall of Sankara Institute of Philosophy and Culture, established in the year 1967. All this I am saying for the benefit of Maharaj Ji, and of course Ramaswamy, of course he is always with us. So he knows all the details, but for the sake of Maharaji, I am saying all this. So this institute was established in the year 1967. Another 2 years, we will all be celebrating the Diamond Jubilee, that is 60 years. The occasion today is the inauguration of the Sharada Navaratri 2025, which we have been celebrating since the inception. From 1967, we have been celebrating this Sharada Navaratri without a break. For the information of the revered Maharaj, this premises was consecrated as a temple by none other than Sri Sri Abhinava Vidyatirtha Mahaswamigal and the present Jagat Guru Bharati Tirtha Swamigal of Sringeri Peetam. Sankara Hall has been carrying out activities for the propagation of Sanatan Dharma by organizing two main events, the Shankara Jayanti celebrations during April and May, and Sharada Navaratri celebrations, of course, whenever the Navaratri dates come, and of course the other festivities. It also organizes without break Pradosha Puja, Paurnami Pujas, then Vardhanti Utsav of the Jagat Gurus, and we have been conducting here through the Sharada Mandali the Srimad Bhagavatam and Narayanyam classes and Vedic chanting by the Veda Mandali. We have been for the last 5 years organizing Paurnami Sandhya online events where we present a philosophical lecture and a cultural and musical dance event of upcoming artists. On completion of this landmark of 5 years, the committee has decided to give a memento out to all those who have supported this event. So, this is in nutshell is the activity of the Sankara Hall, and of course, with the support of all the devotees, we would like to further increase our activities. And needless to say, we have been receiving extreme cooperation from the Ramakrishna Mission on all our things by way of advice and everything. We are very closely connected with the Ramakrishna Mission Goal Park here, and the Maharaj there. I mean, they always come here and guide us, for which we are extremely thankful. And we are very, very, blessed to be having Shukdevananda Ji Maharaj today with us, along with our own friend. As a matter of fact, he's almost a next door neighbor, Sri Ramaswamy of the Vedanta Institute. And of course, his support to the Sankara Hall is very immense. So this is the background of the, now we'll get to the proceedings. And first we will have the invocation song by Kumari Sai Kripa of Sri Guru Guha Gana Vidyala. This is the tradition which we are following, which the Sringeri Matham follows. So the same tradition we try to follow. So therefore we are not able to make little changes. And of course, like we announced, since Swamiji today being Mahalaya, I mean, he was awake at 3 a.m. in the morning. So naturally we will have to release Swamiji at the earliest. So Sai Kripa. Sorry? Yeah, I mean the Anugraha Bhashan we have just changed. So And thank you, Ramaswamiji, for that. And Sai Kripa.
Mamavasada janani Mamavasada janani Mahishasura Sudani Amba 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 Mamavasada janani Somabimba Manohara Somabimba Manohara Somabimba Manohara Somabimba Manohara Sumukhi Sevaka Khila Somabimba Manohara Sumukhi Sevaka Khila Kamadana Nirata Kataksha Vilasini Amba 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 Mamavasada janani Mahishasura Sudani Amba Mamavasada janani Kuru me kushalam sada Kuru me kushalam sada Kamalana bhanuje Kuru me kushalam sada Kamalana bhanuje Kuru me kushalam sada Kamalana bhanuje कुरु मे कुशलं सदा कमलनाभानुजे निरवधि भव खेद निवारण निरता निरवधि भव खेद निवारण निरता चारुनूतन घन चारुनूतन घन चारुनूतन घन सदृश राजित वेणी चारुनूतन घन सदृश राजित वेणी दारुणाद नूजाली तरण पटु जलिते 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 मवसदा जननी महिषासुरसूदनी अम्बा मवसदा जननी Thank you.
Thank you, Sai Kripa, for the wonderful invocatory song. And now we will have Vedic chanting with the Veda Mandali of Sri Geri Sankara Hall. A small word about this. This is taken from Mahanarayana Upanishad. And first they will be rendering from Durvasha Suktam. All will be 3-4 lines only. So where it says Devi is very fond of the Dhruva grass and she is verily the resident in it. And then they are taking up the Mritika Shuktam. It is in praise of the Bhuma Devi. And the Gayatri Mantra, the prelims of the Gayatri Mantra. And the Meda Shuktam on Saraswati. Veda Mandali.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastavam Jyeshtarayam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadana Shunvanno Dibissida Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamattu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sahasra Paramadevi Shadamula Shadangura Sarvagum Haratu me Bhavam Dhurva Dushvapnanashani Kandat Kandat Prarohandi Parusha Parusha Pari एवानो दूर्वे प्रतनुसहस्रेण शतेन च या शतेन प्रतनोषि सहस्रेण विरोहसि तस्यास्ते देवीष्टगे विधेम हविषा वयम् अश्वक्रान्ते रथक्रान्ते विष्णुक्रान्ते वसुन्धरा शिरसा धारयिष्यामि रक्षस्व मां पदे पदे भूमिर्देनुर्धरणी लोकधारिणी उत्कृतासि वराहेन कृष्णेन शतबाहुना मृत्तिके हरणे पापम् यन्मया दुष्कृतम् कृतम् मृत्तिके ब्रह्मदत्तासि काश्यपेन विमन्त्रिता मृत्तिके देहि मे पुष्टिम् त्वयि सर्वम् प्रतिष्ठितम् मृत्तिके प्रतिष्ठिते सर्वम् तन्मे निर्णुत मृत्तिके तया हतेन पापेन गच्छामि परमाम् गति ओमित्येकाक्षरम् ब्रह्म अग्निर्देवता ब्रह्म इत्यार्षम् गायत्रम् छन्दम् परमात्मम् स्वरूपम् सायुज्यम् विनियोगम् आयातु वरदा देवी अक्षरम् ब्रह्म संहितम् गायत्रीम् छन्दसा मादेदम् ब्रह्म जुषस्व मे यदङ्घात् कुरुते पापम् तदङ्घात् प्रतिमुच्यते यद्रात्र्यात् कुरुते पापम् तद्रात्र्यात् प्रतिमुच्यते सर्ववर्णे महादेवी सन्ध्या विद्ये सरस्वती ओजोऽसि नभोऽसि बलमसि व्राजोऽसि देवानाम् नामनामासि विश्वमसि विश्वायुः सर्वमसि सर्वायुः कविभूरोम् गायत्रीमावाहयामि सावित्रीमावाहयामि सरस्वतीमावाहयामि छन्दर्षीमावाहयामि श्रियमावाहयामि गायत्र्या गायत्री छन्दो विश्वामित्र ऋषिसविता देवताग्निर्मुखम् ब्रह्मा शिरो विष्णुर्हृदयम् रुद्रशिखा पृथिव्योनि प्राणापान व्यानोदान समाना सप्राणा श्वेतवर्णा साङ्ख्यायन सगोत्रा गायत्री चतुर्विगम् सत्यक्षरा त्रिपदा चक्षुषि पञ्चशीर्षो वनयने विनियोगः उत्तमे शिखरे जाते भूम्याम् पर्वतमूर्धनि ब्राह्मणेभ्योऽप्यनुज्ञाता गच्छ देवि यथा सुखम् सुतो मया वरदा वेदमाता प्रचोदयन्ति पवने द्विजाता आयुपृथिव्याम् द्रविणम् ब्रह्म वर्चसम् मह्यम् दत्त्वा प्रजातुम् ब्रह्मलोकम् मेधा देवी जुषमाना न आगात् विश्वासे भद्रातु मनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टा नुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहत्वरेम विदते सुवीराः त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवि त्वया ब्रह्मागतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टचित्रम् विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेदे मेधाम् महीन्द्रो ददातु मेधाम् देवी सरस्वती मेधाम् मे अश्विनामुपा दत्ताम् पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु जया मेधा गन्धर्वेषु जयन्मनः दैवीम् मेधा सरस्वती सा मा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषदाग्स्वाहा आमाम् मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगति जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा बिन्वमाना सामाम्येदा सुप्रतीकाजुषन्ताम् मयि मेधाम् मयि प्रजाम् मयि अग्निश्रेजो ददातु मयि मेधाम् मयि प्रजाम् मयीन्द्रियम् ददातु मयि मेधाम् मयि प्रजाम् मयि सूर्यो प्राजो ददातु हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात् सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यम् करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ
That was reverberating Vedic chanting by the Veda Mandali. And now we'll have Stotra Patam by Sri Sharada Mandali, the ladies' wing of Sankara Hall.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय कोटि सूर्य स्वप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा योऽन्ध प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमा प्रसुप्ता सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तितरस्वदाम्नाम् अन्यां सहस्रशरणश्रवणत्वगादि प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शैववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः परान्मुखम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारती विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्योऽध्यार्यक्षमानिधिम् सदा अभिनवपूर्वन्धं विद्यादीप्तं जगद्गुरुं भारती करुणापात्रं भारती पदभूषणं भारती पदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुशेखरभारती ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा शृङ्गष्माभिन्निवासे सुखमुखमुनिभिः सेव्यमानाङ्घ्रिपद्मे स्वाङ्गच्छाया विदूरामृतकर सुरराड्वागने वाक्सवित्री शम्भो श्रीनाथमुख्या मरवरनिकरैः मोदद पूज्यमाने विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजलयिते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् कृत्यालो पार्वतीश प्रवरसुरगण प्रार्थितः सौतवर्मन् प्राबल्यं नेतु कामो यदि वरवपुषा गत्ययां शृङ्गशैले संसार्याच प्रचक्रे बहुविधनुतिभिः सात्त्वमिन्दूतचूडा विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजलयिते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् पावोगं त्वं सहित्वा बहुजनविदितं किञ्च पुण्यालिमारादिं सम्पादासख्य बुद्धिं श्रीवरवरगुजरे श्वाधरं भक्तिदार्यं देवाचार्य द्विजादिष्वभिमनुव्यगे तावकीने निदान्तम् विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजले सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् विद्या मुद्राक्षमाला मृदगडविलसत्पाणिपादो जजाले विद्यादानप्रवीणे जडपतिरमुगेभ्योऽपि शीघ्रं नदेभ्यगम् कामादीनान्धरान् मत्सकजरिपुवरान् देवी निर्मूल्य वेकादि विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजदैदे सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् कर्म स्वात्मोचितेषु स्थिरधरदिशिनां देहदाढ्यं तदर्थं दीर्घं चायुर्यशस्य त्रिभुवनविदितं पापमार्गाद्विरक्तिं सत्सङ्गं सत्कथायागा श्रवणमपि सदा देवि तत्त्वाकृपाब्धे विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजदैदे सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् मातस्तत्पादपद्मं न विविधकुसुमैः पूजितं जादुभक्त्या गातुं नैवाकमीष्टे जडमनिरसत्गुढान् दिव्यपद्ये मुखे सेवाविहेरे यत्यनुपमकरुणामर्भगे अम्बे भगे त्वां विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजनैते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् सान्दाध्या सम्भदो मे विदरशुभकरी नित्यनिर्भिन्नबोधम् वैराग्यं मोक्षवाञ्छामभिलकलय श्रीशिवा सेव्यमाने विद्यातीर्थादियोगे प्रवरकरसरोजातसम्भूजिताङ्ग्रे विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजनैते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् सच्चिद्रूपात्मनो मे श्रुतिमनननिधिध्यासनान्यासुमातकम् सम्भाद्य स्वान्तमेत् रुचियुतमनिशम् निर्विकल्पे समाधुम् तुङ्गातीराङ्गराजद्वरगृहविलसच्चक्रराजास्तनस्ते विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजनैते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम् विद्यां शुद्धां च बुद्धिं कमलजनैते सत्वरं देहि मह्यम्
Thank you, Sharada Mandali, for the wonderful Stotra Patam. Now, we would request our dear Narayan Mama, the President, to give the welcome address. And you can do from there.
Stand up.
ఒక్కడే చూడండి ఒక్కండి సౌరి మచ్
ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః హరి ఓం శృతిస్మృతిపురాణానాం ఆలయం కరుణాలయం నమామి భగవత్పాదశంకరం లోకశంకరం దక్షిణాంనాయ శృంగేరి శారదాపీఠపాసకం వందే అభినవపూర్వంతం విద్యాతీర్థం జగద్గురుం భారతీ కరుణాపాత్రం భారతీ పదభూషణం భారతీ పరమోదారం భారతీ తీర్థమాశ్రయే విద్యాం వినయసంపన్నాం వేదత్యాగం ప్రజాంవిదం వందే అభినవ విద్యా వేదాంత తద్వ్యక్యం విదుశేఖర భారతీయం రెస్పెక్టెడ్ స్వామి C.L. Ramaswamy, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all for the inauguration of Sharada Navaratri celebration. The detailed program for all the days is distributed to all. I would request you all to attend the program and receive the blessing of Devi Sharadambal in abundant measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. You have been so cooperative. You have made it really short and sweet. I mean, considering, Swamiji, like I told you, we are so grateful to revered Maharaj that I told you in the beginning that he woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning and he has consented to come here today. So thank you very much, Narayan Mama, for that. And now we are looking forward to the most important aspect, that is the lighting of the lamp by Maharaj Ji as an inauguration of the Sharada Navaratri Festival 2025. Ramaswamy Ji, please. Swamiji. Let us all clap hands for the inauguration. The lighting of the lamp has been done. So let us hope we will have the complete grace of Sharadambal and Jagat Gurus for the conduct of the 9-day Navaratri festival, which will have, for the sake of revered Maharaj, I am saying, in the morning we have all the rituals like Lalita Sahasrama Archana, then we have the Suhasini Puja, we have the Kumari Puja, everything is there, and Devi Mahatmya Patanam. In the morning, that takes about 3 to 4 hours rituals we have in the morning. And the evening, we have what is called the Sangeeta Seva in the evening, and where we encourage all the artists from all over the country to come here and perform. That we have been doing, like I told you, from the inception of the Sharada Navaratri, we have featured big artists, medium level artists, and even upcoming artists in this Shabha. So that is for your information, Maharaj Ji. And now there is a shift in the air. We are asking Revered Maharaj Ji to give his Anugrah Bhashan here and now, after which, of course, Ramaswamy Ji will be delivering his lecture. So, that will happen, of course, after the felicitation of the guests here. I would request Venkatesh Ji and the committee members to facilitate. Mama, Swami Ji quote. Sri Shukadevananda Ji Maharaj, and now we are felicitating Sri Ramaswamy of Vedanta Institute. He is the director. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have with us revered Shukadevananda Ji Maharaj, who is the secretary of the Ramakrishna Mission Sharada Peeth, Belur. Swamiji had his initiation under Revered Vireshwarananda ji, who was the 10th president of the Ramakrishna Mission order. And he joined Ramakrishna Mission in the year 1979. And he did extensive development work for the tribal children of Arunachal Pradesh and the Tripura and the northeast region of India. He has done a wonderful service bringing up, developing the tribal children there. Before, of course, taking the responsibility of the principal of various schools and colleges of the mission. He is now the secretary of the most acclaimed Sharada Peeth of Ramakrishna Mission, which runs innumerable institutions. As a matter of fact, I went to the Google and searched about the Sharada Peeth. I was astounded. I would request, I would have liked to make a note here because of the paucity of time, but I would request all the members to just go to the Google and do Sharada Peeth. You see the great service they are doing to the community and spreading naturally our Sanatana Dharma, and they have huge variety of activities. And Swamiji, of course, is here. I would request him also to tell a few lines about the activities of the Sharada Peeth. And I over to you, Maharajji, for your Anugraha Bhashan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Om Jananīm Sharadām Devīm Rāmakrishnam Jagadgurum Pādapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamāmi Muhurmuhu. At the outset, I offer my sastanga pranams at the holy feet of Bhagavad Pada Sri Shankaracharya ji. Bhagavan Shankara came to actually save India from, at that time the society was very much affected by the declining of the Buddhism. Once again he placed our Sanatana Dharma on the pristine glory, which is the Upanishads are the main source of it. So, in the name of Bhagavan Shankara, this, for example, all the celebrations today, they are centering around and Sharada Navaratri. This is a very, very special occasion. Let me tell you, before coming to Sharada Peeth, I was in Chennai, in Mylapore, for almost 12 years. In Mylapore, we have a Ramakrishna Mission students' home, where more than 600 orphan children are maintained totally free of any charges. They are maintained free. And more than 100 years, I am telling you, in that, because our first president, Swami Brahmanandaji, actually inaugurated it, I am telling you, in 2005, and then later on, the building was actually built, palace for the poor. You will see in that Mylapore, more than 100 years. See, same thing, Navaratri celebrations are right from today, Navaratri celebrations. Same pattern, in the morning there will be the pravachanas. You know, the food for your spiritual soul. And the second half is always meant for Sangeeta Seva. You will always be, surprised that very, very eminent, these musicians are invited there, all the 9 days, and only thing, here Golu is missing now. Is there, has in a very small, this thing is there. So, symbolic it is. So that is why I am telling you, it is a great celebration, this Navaratri celebration. And that is why I am telling is that without the invoking the blessings of Mother, it is not possible for any jiva to have the vision of God. And that is why even Shankara himself, we always say Shankara was only Jnani, Jnani, Jnani. But in our Ramakrishna order we don't say he was Jnani, he was Vijnani. Vishesha Purvaka Jnanam means, and Sri Ramakrishna says, who is a Vijnani? Vijnani is after attending Jnanam, Ekatma Bodha, Brahmaiva Naparaha, still you keep a sweet relationship with Saguna Brahman. And that becomes the beauty of your life. Then only you are useful to Jagata Kalyana. Otherwise, if you are always immersed in the most highest this thing, the generally ordinary people will not be able to understand anything. And that is why Shankaras, you see, when you see the Ganga Stotram, Devi Shureshwari Bhagavati, Gange, what a wonderful, so many things he has composed for us only. He introduced even, Pancha Devata Puja, this thing. And that is why I am telling all these things is, he gave culture. Because Swami Vivekananda used to say one important thing is, it is the culture that absorbs the shocks. I will give you one example. Without culture generally, like in Sanskrit we say, Janmana Jayate Shudro, Samskarena Dvijottama. By samskara only he becomes a second birth. Vedabhyasat Vipro Bhavati, Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. But people had forgotten. They started treating only by birth only, anybody automatically he becomes. So, samskaras needs to be given. And Swami Vivekananda says, the culture, for example, how it is a shock absorber. You are, for example, going, a motorcycle is there which can go up to 350 kilometers per hour. Now, suppose that motorcycle, if I remove the shock absorbers, and you ride on that motorcycle, even if a very small pebble comes, immediately that will jump like anything and you will die. You will die. So, it is the shock absorbers that are helping us to, commute our journey. Similarly, for any civilization, there has to be some shock absorbers. What is that shock absorbers? Shock absorbers are the culture. And this culture, that is why Swami Vivekananda is telling, if you take out that culture, once again, what will remain in that civilization? Today, this our Sanatana Dharma, our Hindu Samskriti, has survived. Waves after waves, attacks came. So many attacks came. But it stood like a rock. to, absorb all the waves. And that is the test of the Sanatana Dharma. When we say Sanatana, means it cannot be destroyed. It cannot be destroyed. It has an inherent strength. And we should always understand that inherent strength is derived from, first of all, culture. Now, when I talk about culture, mind you, rituals are not culture. Never mistake it with rituals, just, simply waving the light in front of the god, that is your, this thing, that is a ritual, that is not a culture. Culture is one thing, which will actually, for example, that is why Swamiji is telling, it is the character that cleaves the adamantine wall of difficulties. Because charitra, that is character. You see, what is character? Once again, if you ask me, character is nothing but repeated habits, repeated conscious habits. You see, I want to become good and I want to help others also to become good. Consciously I am trying. I want to become good. And also I am helping others to become good. And that is very, very important. And repeatedly when I am trying, no, I will not do certain things which my father and mother will not like. My elders will not like. Like, for example, two important values in our Shastras. One is Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Because, Shankara, when he wrote a commentary on the Kathopanishad, there he is actually quoting about the Nachiketa. In Shankara Bhashya it is there. He is writing there that Shraddha got manifested. Avirbhavam. In Nachiketa, Shraddha got Avirbhava. Because when Shraddha gets manifested in your life, Shraddha, mind you, Shraddha cannot be translated into English correctly. You may say respect for so many things, faith, so many things, but Shraddha is Shraddha. Even Vivekananda himself has told Shraddha cannot be translated to English. That is why I am telling you, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. When that Shraddha comes, you are able to achieve everything in life. And that is why Shankara is always insisting, Shraddha, Shraddha, Shraddha. Now, I will tell you, Vivekananda, after, giving lectures, right from, Manamadurai, Madurai, Chennai, everywhere, right? When he came to his motherland here in Bengal, if you take out that book, Lectures from Colombo to Almora, in that first lecture, Swamiji, after triumphant return from the West, in that lecture in Calcutta, what he gave, he is also mentioning in that lecture, you will find, Shraddha, Shraddha, Shraddha. It is the Shraddha which we have lost it. And that is why we became slaves. Others conquered us. Swamiji is telling, no race in the world talks so high about the human dignity. But at the same time, no race in the world puts down its foot on his brother to suppress him completely. Because the highest Vedanta, what it says? The God in you is the God in me. Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. Shlokardena Pravakshami. Yaduktam Koti Grantabi. You know, you can read hundreds and thousands of books. But if you are unable to see the divinity in others, first of all, divinity in you, and that same divinity is in others. That India had forgotten it. We forgot somehow. If you ask why we forgot, Bhagavan Shankara, once again in the Bhagavad Gita commentary, he is telling, after having practiced dharma for a very long time, we once again became dharma chuta. We got fallen from the dharma. And that is why yada yada hi dharmasya, the Lord has to come. Glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Why we forgot this one? We forgot our divinity, first of all, because we got only engrossed only in the material things. You know already that in Ishavasya Upanishad, our Rishi Munis have not, prevented a human being not to enjoy the world. They have not told. But they have already put a rider there. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchita jagatyam jagat. You cover everything with the Lord. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you are always thinking about me and mine, then there is no difference between you and a pashu. And that is why you have to, make the circle bigger. Why you cannot see divinity, first of all, in your own children, in your own father and mother? Otherwise, if you start talking about Vedanta, it is all because you don't have any anubhuti, no experience. And the whole Shankara philosophy, if you say, anubhuti is very, very important. Tatak kim. If you don't have that anubhuti, what it is going to matter for you? Shariram surupam sada roga muktam. You are only a healthy animal, that is all the thing. And that is why India had forgotten that one. That is why Swami Vivekananda is telling, up India and conquer the world with your spirituality. That Atma Tattva. Beyond the senses and behind this, whatever the world we are seeing, there is one great entity. That entity is, you call by any nomenclature, you call Brahman, you call Atman, you call anything. It is ever present. it is truth, it is conscious, it is Anandam. That is why Swamiji is telling, we are not children of all misery and other things. Swamiji is telling, we are all children of immortal bliss. Shunvantu vishve amritasya putra aye dhamani divyani tastu. Because give that positive ideas to everybody. First of all, that is why Swamiji is telling, be and make. First you be. What you are going to preach to others, first you should be there. First of all, you be divine yourself. Teach others that same divinity. That is why Swami Vivekananda is telling, call upon the sleeping soul. See what happens. The power will come. The glory will come. All that is good and great will come. When this sleeping soul is roused to its conscious activity. You see, Sankara came in 32 years, whatever he did, all these acharyas. That is why divinity, Swami Vivekananda came and put it in a modern language. Each soul is potentially divine. And the goal is to manifest this divinity. You see, if we are not ready to manifest this divinity, then what will happen? That is why I had told you that character, culture, why I told you is because in every act of my life, I have to manifest that goodness. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is telling, Yat karosi, yadasnasi, yajjuhosi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya. You see, you give it everything, but will you give anything bad to Krishna? That is why Mayarpita Manobuddhi, he is telling Arjuna repeatedly, Mayarpita Manobuddhi, you offer everything to me and then you do this thing, Yuddha. Because if you do not offer to me, you will be unnecessarily caught in the vortex of the Raga Dvesha. I will give you just one small example. You will understand. You know, Arjuna heard all the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita and he is telling, my moha has got nasta. Means it has been removed. Right? When his own son was killed, Abhimanyu, right? What happened? He forgot the Lord. Immediately, instinctively he told, what? My son they have killed. The person who has killed my son. Next day before Suryasta, I am going to kill him. And if I don't kill, I myself will enter into the fire. You see, for a moment he just forgot. Sri Krishna is very much by the side only, but son is a son only after all. That is why we say Atmaja. Atmaja. So it is very difficult. So that is why just for a moment he forgot. And you know what happened? Next day, Arjuna was not able to kill the Jayadratha. Okay, and Lord is simply keeping quiet. And you just imagine, already sun has set. Okay? Now fire has been lighted. Everybody is abusing him, taunting him. They are telling, you told now you only die in the fire lighted by you only. And Lord is simply keeping quiet. Sakshi Swarupa. As long as I have an ahankara that I can do myself, Lord will not come. You see, everybody is abusing him, taunting him. You see, he is the Sreshta Dhanurdhara. Correct? But why Sri Krishna is keeping quiet? By making you pass through all these insults in the world, he is washing your kalmasha of your mana, all the dirt of your mind. That is why Jesus Christ in the Bible he has told, blessed are those who are persecuted for my sake, for they shall be comforted. If we are being insulted, if we are being actually, for our, for the sake of God, it is very good. It's all right. That is why I am telling is, you devotees should also feel that, no, I am not going to, I am in the name of Shankara, I am going and begging the people. Somebody may respect you, somebody may even, scold you. What does it matter? That is the attitude. But me and mine, if it enters, then what? That is why Swamiji is telling, unselfishness is God. Why Swamiji is telling? God is equal to unselfishness. And Swami Vivekananda adds there, unselfishness is highly repaying. Only people don't have the patience to practice it. We many times think, oh, so much of unselfishness is not required. We don't have patience. Like one Brahmana, when a sloka was written, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasate. Immediately his wife told, what is this? Nothing is there in the house. Daily you are telling it is all useless. Yoga kshema your God does not look after. With a red pen he penned through it. And that story. Immediately the Krishna himself came and gave everything. But blood was coming through his tongue. Later on, he found, oh my God, the verse in the Gita is correct only. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. And that is why I am telling is that the whole life needs to be molded in such a way that you are, you bring blessings to your parents, to your all the entire family, and not only you bring blessings to the wherever you go. And that is why I am telling is that is a great responsibility entrusted on our shoulder. Why I tell you, you see, we talk about Sanatana Dharma. But that Sanatana word is so powerful. What do you mean by Sanatana? Eternal values. Remember, what are those eternal values? I just told about Shraddha. There are many eternal values. One more eternal value is Vinaya. Vidya dadati Vinayam. If you have correct learning, you are humble. Humility. What wonderful things are given in our Shastras. Kshama. And that is why all these things, if you want to get the best in the human life, mother is required. That is why one of our sisters, she actually sang Mahishasura Mardini. Right? The very opening. Then Veda Mandali, Mahanarayana Upanishad, Meda Suktam and other things. And then we had our mothers, Ganesha, Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha. All these things ultimately are meant to bring the goodness out of us. Because we should understand all these things are meant. That is why Swami Vivekananda says at one place, Buddha was great, Christ was great. What is that to me? Does it bring any change in my life? If I say Bhagavad Pada Sankara was great, Shiva is great, Mother Uma is great, what is that to me? Does it bring any change in my life? It should bring change in our life. The moment when I utter Shiva word, Shiva is the symbol of auspiciousness. At least some quality of Shiva should be manifested in us. If it is not manifested, then what will happen? In Kannada, there is this thing is there, if anybody understands. Ittare shaganiyade, tattidare kurulade, suttare vibhutiyade, neenarigadeo elemanava. Oh human being, why I am telling is the vibhuti which we are putting. Vibhuti is a symbol of what? Parartha jivanam. For others I live. That is why it is a symbol of, renunciation. And Swami Vivekananda told, renunciation and service are the twin ideals of India. Intensify her in those two channels. The rest will take care of itself. That is why wherever you do, seva, the moment you utter the word seva, seva cannot be done without a tyaga. You need not put on the kavi. I will tell you one small example. I keep on telling our students. For example, one person adjacent to my house, say I tell the students, you are reading in your house, preparing for examination. One old person just adjacent to your house, he needs some medicine. There is nobody to bring that medicine. You close your book, go and purchase the medicine. For 10 minutes you might have wasted, 10-15 minutes. Give him the medicine and once again open the book and see what will happen. Vivekananda has told power will come, the glory will come, everything will come, which you had required 3 hours to understand something, you will understand in 30 minutes. And this is the tyagas. It is not that tyaga means by taking an external symbol you have to do all those things. You can practice it in your everyday life only, tyaga. That is why Swamiji is telling tyaga and vairagya are the obverse and the reverse sides of the same coin. And that is why today, we are assembled here We are praying, Mother. Why? We want all the best qualities in our life. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. First of all, she is Bhranti Rupena Samstita. We are telling, oh Mother, take away all the Bhranti. And we are telling, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstita. Namastashay, 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 Namo Namaha. That is why I am telling is that we have a very natural liking for mother. Child is always happy with the mother. That is why Navaratri, these celebrations. There, why I am telling, everywhere in South India you will see Navaratri celebrations are everywhere. And even for example in Saptami, Astami, Navami, Ayudha Puja is there. So many things are there. So, I think I have taken almost, how many minutes I spoke? 34 minutes I have spoke. Okay. So, that is why I am telling you, I am happy. Especially, all of you here, you see, Narayanji is there by my side, and our director of Vedanta Institute, Ramaswamy is there, Karthikeyan is there, and you all are there. The thing is, I actually pray for all of you, may the choicest blessings be on all of you, so that you become fit instruments in making our country a great country, and also bringing peace, prosperity, love to everybody. That is my prayer on this holy occasion. Thank you. I would have
Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, Maharaj, for your very profound speech. Actually, we are enlivened by your wonderful talk. I'll just sum it up like we always do. How far I will be successful, I do not know. Because you talked about Adi Shankara Bhagavatar's great contribution for the revival of Sanatana Dharma. We all know how his period was, with the 72 Dhurmatas reigning supreme, and Shankara, he had debates with everyone and then vanquished them, and he brought forth Sanatana Dharma to the fore. And the wonderful point which you made is, more than a Jnani was a Vijnani. And Visheshaka Purvaka Jnani was. And the sweet relation he brought about with Saguna Brahman. So these are the points which I am making for the benefit of the devotees, so that we can go home and think about all this. The sweet relation which he established with the Saguna Brahman, though he was Advaita, epitome of Advaitic philosophy, he said, no, that is not done for the general devotees like us. So the need for the Saguna Brahman is very essential. So that is why he condescended and gave us the wonderful stotras. So, and he gave us the culture. Swamiji wonderfully pointed out that. And he also told one thing very important. No one becomes a Brahmin by birth. Only by practice you become a Brahmin. And the wonderful example he gave was about the shock absorber. The culture acts like a shock absorber in our lives. So that's very important. And it makes our commutation very, very, very smooth. The shock absorber, that is the culture that he is talking about. And he said, Sanatana, that cannot be destroyed. And he said, what is character? Character is repeated conscious habits. And he talked about the Shraddha, the need for Shraddha. I mean, he repeatedly was saying about how Shankara talked about Shraddha and also Swami Vivekananda. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. And he talked about the jiva brahmaiva naparaha. I mean, the Brahman exists in all of us, and we must see Brahman in everybody. So that way there will be no enmity. And he talked about the anubhuti. He said, another important point, when Vivekananda said, you be and then teach. First, practice is the best form of precept. That is what is said. So you'll have to practice what you're preaching. And the wonderful story, Swamiji, of Abhimanyu, it will stay with us. So it was really a very profound speech which Swamiji gave us today. Let us think about it for the rest 9 days of the Navaratri. This will be our energizing force which Swamiji has given us. And I would request now our committee members to give the Sharadambal Prasadam to Swamiji, because he will have to leave. So we are giving the Sharadambal Prasadam, which is specially been and for Ramaswamy, of course, after his delivery of speech, we will be giving him the same. And one very important thing, please stay back, because Ramaswamiji, I mean, you know, he's a very profound speaker. We have heard him a number of times. So you do not have to worry. Prasadam arrangement has been made in the Bharati Bhojanalaya. Please stay till the very end. Listen to the wonderful speech of Ramaswamiji as well. And Swamiji, I mean, whenever you are free to leave, you may please. Okay. Thank you.
So, first
and,
of all, you know, Ramaswamy, I am telling, I wish I would have been here to hear it.
Yes, I know.
But you know, due to my
I understand.
Huh? Yes. So, please you continue. Huh?
And but Swamiji, but we'd like to, I mean, all of it have coffee.
Nothing. No, nothing. Now you know, I am telling you already.
There is coffee.
अच्छा ठीक है उधर
All of you devotees, I would request you to please take your seats. Yeah. So, yeah. Ramaswamiji, I need not give any introduction, is so popular in Kolkata, and being the director of the Vedanta Institute, which was founded by none other than Swami Parthasarathi. And the beauty about the Vedanta Institute, as the name stands, it talks about only pure Vedanta. So they take the Upanishads as the very essence, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita as the very essence of the talk. And for those who have listened to Swami Parthasarathi, Swami Sunandaji, you will all know, every year Ramaswamiji has been organizing their talks in the G.D. Birla Sabhagar. And people, we are going, but those who are not had the opportunity must go and listen to the wonderful talks. And Ramaswamiji also conducts numerous classes online and also offline that also we should take advantage of. So with those few words, I would request Ramaswamiji to deliver his speech for the Sharada Navaratri Utsavam. Thank you, Ramaswami. Oh.
Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. On the auspicious occasion of Mahalaya Amavasya today and the following 9 days, maybe 10 days this time because of the calculation of the tithis, we have the Navaratri celebrations. Probably this is the festival which has the longest celebration. Along with Deepavali, Dashara is considered the biggest festival of India. We have talked about the significance of Navaratri, Durga Puja many times here. The significance of the 9 days culminating on the 10th day, which is Vijayadashami, which is nothing but the victory of good over evil in the world and victory over our own ego inside us. In the North India, we see a return of Rama during Deepavali. Before that, he kills Ravana, and that is celebrated on the Dashara. So Ravana represents the ego with his 10 heads, that is 10 senses represent the ego. So one thing is that mother is the embodiment of goodness, but it is not merely a passive goodness that we should practice. The goodness should be aggressive. Because in the Mahabharata we see that Pandavas were very good, led by Yudhishthira, but it caused a lot of troubles for them. Somebody calls you for a game of dice and you say some rule that I should not go against it. This is the principle. Say, Kshatriya calls somebody for a war, you have to go. Or he calls you for a game of dice also, you have to go. Yudhishthira says that and he enters. Of course, he also has a weakness for playing. Let us keep that also in mind. And very well he knows that what is going to happen. Duryodhana says, Shakuni will roll the dice on my behalf. All that Yudhishthira should have said is that wait for some time, I will call Krishna to roll the dice from my side. There would have been not a problem. But all these things, you talk dharma, you abide by it, knowing fully well what will happen. So they had to suffer long for that. The brothers who were capable of defeating anybody had to sort of passively accept. They were also good, passively good, Arjuna and Bhima and Nakula and Sahadeva, everybody. And Draupadi had to suffer unnecessarily for that. So this is goodness. Goodness will be taken for a right. Because people ask this question, why do honest people suffer? Honest people don't suffer. Actually, even in Mahabharata, who was more peaceful is the Pandavas. Whether they were in the forest or anywhere, they were more peaceful. That is not a thing there. But what you want to achieve in the world, quickly somebody will manipulate, do some corruption and achieve. So people say, he is going to temple, he is doing all good things. Why he should suffer? So good people don't suffer. It is the passive people that suffer. Passive people are taken for a ride by the aggressive people. Aggressive people use that intellect, use their thinking, manipulation for their selfish purposes. That's all. And if a person fights with a sword, another person has a pistol, that person will win. So you cannot complain. A big fish will eat the small fish. So if 90% of the people in the world are passive, 10% are aggressive, you can say. Out of the 10, 9 are aggressively bad. They use the aggressive nature for selfish purposes. Only one person is aggressively good, that is Lord Krishna. So if Duryodhana and Shakuni, they were all aggressively bad, they can be tackled only by another aggressive person. That is why you will find that when situation requires, Krishna speaks the language that they understand. Every means of dharma, this is not to justify any foul means. Enna vanna panni kadasila dharmata establishment, that's not the point. The path also has to be dharmic, the end also has to be dharmic, but having exhausted all means to do the right thing, you have to finally, if you have to speak the language that the other person understands, then you have to do it. This is what Krishna shows in the war also. Suddenly you cannot talk about dharma, even how Abhimanyu was killed, so the same thing was written back in everybody there, whether it is Karna or Duryodhana. Duryodhana cannot speak about dharma there. Because throughout his life what he has done cannot justify that. Bhima has taken a vow to break the thigh bone of Duryodhana. He cannot do it on a dead body. He has to do it when the war is going on. And that's what Krishna did. Whether it is Karna, whether it is Duryodhana, whether it is Dronacharya or Bhishma, whatever has to be done was silently done. So, come what may, dharma will be established as a final resort. This also can be used as aggressive goodness. Mahabharata talks about Brihaspati Niti and Shukra Niti. Brihaspati Niti is what most of us know, like the quote is attributed to Jesus Christ also. If somebody slaps your one cheek, you turn the other cheek and show also. If somebody asks for the kurta, give your dhoti also. Like that you can do like that. But suppose if I show the other cheek and he slaps there also, and I show the other cheek, he slaps, how long can a person suffer like this? Is this correct? But will it work? It will work. When it will work? If suppose he is generally a good person, sattvic person, he doesn't lose his temper. For a moment, for some reason, he lost his temper, and then you keep quiet, immediately he realizes that he has made a mistake and he himself apologizes, there it will work. So in an interaction between two highly sattvic people in their state of maturity, Brihaspati Niti will work. If the other person understands only the language of aggression, aggression need not be only physical aggression. You can be aggressive at the thought level also. Then that needs to be employed. Maya charaha, mayaya vartitavyaha. This is Shukra Niti. So Brihaspati Niti, it is very contextual. Otherwise you have to bring that book only on Saraswati Puja Day and worship. In the present context, what will work more? Krishna himself tell Yudhishthira, don't wait for my intervention every time. You take charge and do. That's why he made him to utter that so-called lie in the battlefield also, because that is required of Yudhishthira. You may find it very difficult. Yes, that is the values that are inculcated in us. Right. So we saw this. Aggressive goodness is embodiment of mother represents aggressive goodness, because there cannot be any goodness more than the universal mother. But she is ready to take up the arms and fight when the situation requires. This is the Kshatriya spirit that we need to inculcate, and you will find that in our earlier, in the Puranic ages also, the Jnanis like Adi Shankaracharya, as mentioned by Swamiji and others, everybody knows how he invoked the grace of goddess. Avataras like Krishna and Rama, they worship Durga. And all our kings like Shivaji Maharaj and Rana Pratap and various other kings, freedom fighters. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, when he wrote the Vande Mataram, he picturizes Bharat Mata as a personification of goddess Durga only. So this is, it invokes the Kshatriya spirit. Even the veil in the hands of Lord Kartikeya is she herself transformed herself into that veil, javelin, or the spear, and that is in the hands of all the gods and goddesses. So, gods and goddesses in Hindu pantheon are not seen without weapons. We put the faith in the God that they will protect us. Otherwise, you will fight on the road to protect the God. That is not required. That is not. So you will find pictures of Rama, even without Sita or Lakshmana, but never without his bow and arrow. Even in a probably marriage reception, he'll hold that, and in the coronation ceremony also, he will hold that. Bow and arrow, he is very soft, he is very accommodative, but when it is required, that arms will be taken. So, you will find even in Ganesha, the most simplest of all deities, he will have a story where he killed an Asura. Kartikeya, or Ayyappa, and Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti, everybody. So, there is always this evil forces that will take over. In that same language, it has to be defeated. But when Adi Shankaracharya's advent was there, the Asuric forces were in a different form and the weapons they used were different. So, he had to use the power of the intellect to defeat them. This is the symbolism of Devi Puja. And the 3 days in South India, it is celebrated as Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati for 3 days. Here also, Durga Puja is now, later Lakshmi Puja comes, later Saraswati Puja comes. The order is the same, that you defeat all the negativities first within you, that is at the level of body, mind, intellect, 3 days. Then you inculcate the positive values, that is Mahalakshmi, and then in that mind, knowledge dawns, that is Saraswati, and Vijayadashmi of course represents the self-realization. So it is not just 10 days to realization, 10 days is symbolic of the entire spiritual path itself towards realization. Right. Now we talked about Mahalakshmi. Everything that is beautiful, everything that is prosperous, everything that is auspicious, it is personified as Mahalakshmi. So anything that is nice, they say Lakshmi Kataksham is there, Mahalakshmi is there. If the house is dirty, then they say it's Alakshmi. Lakshmi will not come to the house. All the communities, everybody invokes cleanliness, invokes prosperity, everything with the grace of Mahalakshmi. So she does not represent only the material wealth, it also the inner wealth of the human beings, which we need to cultivate, the values that we need to cultivate in the path of self-realization. Now we talk about this term called values. What do we mean by a value? In fact, any education has to be a proper education, means it has to inculcate values. See, in 2008, there was a downturn and a crash of financial markets in the United States. Very many great companies collapsed, Lehman Brothers and various other companies which were all financial giants. They all collapsed overnight. And post-mortem was conducted and they came up with the, I would say, a right conclusion that what has triggered this collapse is a very unbridled greed that is cultivated in the minds of the corporate. At any cost, you have to win. So you have to develop your desire. Till about a few years back, I do not know now, the main book that is taught in the MBA course in all the leading Ivy University colleges is The Art of War by the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. Everything is a war. You have to win the war at all costs. Doesn't matter what you do. Crush and move forward. The ends justify the means, and that is the history that is written by the victors that way. But Bhagavad Gita also talks about management. It talks about in a way which is far superior, I would say, that you can still win, you can be successful. There is this development of greed is invoking the rajas in us, the quality of rajas. But more than the rajas, with sattva quality in you, you can act, gain prosperity, yet be completely sort of detached from it. That sort of a renunciation in action is possible to practice. So Vedanta glorifies renunciation, but not renunciation of action. It is renunciation in action. Otherwise, when Arjuna wanted to leave the battlefield, Krishna would have cooperated with him, but he did not. He said, you have to fight the battle and practice renunciation here. So what do we renounce then? We renounce the appendages to action, not the action. What are the appendages to action? your future fruit. What I will get out of this, that you chod do, that you forget. And what is that it is there for me, that is the fruit. And that I am doing this action, that is the kartrutva or the ego, and the desire. These desire from the past, ego in the present and fruit in the future, this you renounce and perform the action. So a sattvic type of action is obviously very effortless, very fruitful, and this is what is a superior type of action. Now why I am saying this is, these financial market crashes, all these were created by who? Those who run those companies there. Where all they were educated? In Harvard, in Stanford and all great. So what is it that actually these colleges and universities are teaching? There must be an inquiry into that. A great case study they will bring up. They are giving certain knowledges at certain level to prosper, and you will get interviews and you will maybe join some companies. But what is it that they have essentially done? So our Swamiji says that they beautifully train you to create more bills and pay more bills. That's what you do throughout your life. So Vedanta is a principle by which you say if your bills are not created, you are rich already. Why you have to create a bill and throughout the week, throughout the month you work only to pay the bill. Right. So therefore education necessarily has to be a value education, and that is what our Gurukulas of the past did. So the Acharya actually, like a bird sits on the egg and incubates the egg and brings out the chick. Like that he brings out a proper citizen out of a student who joins the Gurukula. That is the role of a Acharya. So therefore, bereft of values, education is not a real education. Not a proper education. Otherwise, think about it. Those who committed the 2001 plane crash into the Twin Towers or any other terrorist attacks that are done, very highly educated people. So if education is the solution, then these people, once they have studied engineering or studied mathematics, then they are going to say, I am going to earn my living with that, or I am going to teach that. They did not go in that line. Something else was done. What was done? With that education, they only further, committed more crimes. So what is the system of education that is being promulgated by these? This is a question that we need to answer. So therefore education means value education. Right. Now the question arises, what is a value? Swamiji was also saying, a value is that which when practiced takes you closer towards the goal easily. I repeat, value is that which when practiced consistently, it helps you to reach your goal easily. Anything and everything that is practiced cannot be termed as a value. There are some of my friends, whenever any movie is released, first day, first show they will watch. Consistently they do. So you cannot say he has a value for watching movies. He has a value for posting daily some nonsense in Facebook. Suppose that cannot be said as a value. I have a value for eating apple. For what? That is not a value. What is a value then? Suppose you say, I go to temple daily, it is considered a value. That also we can question. I am not saying that you have to blindly accept, but daily, okay, somebody speaks truth. That is a value. That is a value. See, that is why even for bad people to temporarily succeed, they put on the show of a goodness and show some value. Ravana cannot touch Sita unless he comes in that sannyasi form and cheats. He has to come in that form. Okay. So, therefore there has to be something that you cherish, that is valued in general by the society, that we call as a value. Not wasting food is a value. It is also given in the Upanishads. Don't waste food. Speak the truth. Respect the elders. Maintain cleanliness. Maintain punctuality. Now, the practice of the values can deteriorate according to time. But the direction in which it is said, that will not change. See, suppose a father is looking for a good bridegroom for his daughter or for a sister. He says he's a very good boy. Why is he a very good boy? He says he has no habit of smoking. He doesn't drink. He doesn't. I can keep it in the hand also. So these are the, so you say he's a good boy because he has or practices these values that he doesn't have all these habits. Now the present society has this outlook. Maybe 100 years later, suppose you say he has never raped anybody, he has never committed a murder, he has never been to a jail, and that is a great. So because if the value system itself comes down, then these are considered as great values. But still, what is considered as a value is in that direction. Now, value is something that which you practice will take you towards the goal. So therefore, achievement of a goal is very important. Otherwise, suppose you say, are there not people who practice values? Yes, people do practice values. They may or may not have a goal. Where do they get these values? They get these values from their parents, from the society. If, on this particular day, this ritual you do, that is a value. Or generally when somebody comes to the home, you give them water, that's a value. Where has he learned this? He has learned it from his grandfather, from his father, and he is doing it. So these are all, we can say, mechanically practiced. Definitely they are worth it. It's not definitely wrong to do that, but you can do it. But why you are doing it, you must be consciously aware. See, suppose, think about it. If your own son or daughter as a child turns back and asks you, you ask me to speak truth, why I should speak truth? You must have not answer just to, adjust that situation, but genuinely you must know. There are many people who say lie and who are moving ahead in life. Why I should not say lie? Why I should not kill other people? I want something, he is not giving. I will beat him and take it. What is wrong? No, you should not do it. Why I should not do it? 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back, let us say advent of Jesus Christ was there, and suppose you say somebody believes in Jesus Christ. More than Jesus Christ, the power is in the belief in Jesus Christ. If you believe he will save you, he will definitely save you. No doubt about it. Okay? And it runs on faith. Now world has advanced in science, in technology, in thinking. 2,000 years later also, suppose you say Christ has already died for you on the cross and his blood will save you, means you will say, what is the connection between me and Jesus Christ? Why his blood will save me? People are asking, they even mockingly say he couldn't save himself, how he will save me, something like that. Then this has to be dealt in a different way. So that is why, as you give the values definitely at a young age when the children are absorbing it, later when they ask questions, you must try to find out the answer and tell them as to why it should be done. We need not bring Atma, Brahma, and it is given in the Upanishad only and therefore we have to follow. It must be dealt at the level of reason only. Food should not be wasted as a value. Why you should not be wasted? Why any resource should not be wasted? Why you should not eat in between meals? You have fixed times, 2, 3 times, 4 times, whatever be. In between, do not keep on eating something. That is a value. Why I should maintain time? Everything has to be finally connected to the goal of happiness, self-realization. Suppose I say, hurting others is ultimately hurting myself. I should not do, I will not do it. Then only it is a value. If I hurt others, ultimately I end up hurting myself. This is the truth. This has to be proven scientifically, explained logically, and in his own experience he will find this out. Then the value has a value. Otherwise values become mechanical. Not only they become mechanical, people use the sense of values without any proportion, and that is sometimes dangerous. Sense of values is like medicine. Medicine is very good. Whatever is the right medicine you intake, but it has to be in proper dosage. If the medicine is not taken in proper dosage, it will be dangerous. Okay. So any value retains its value as long as it is proportioned. Now what is the sense of proportion? Sense of value and sense of proportion. Sense of proportion is making an intelligent exception to the value only in order to uphold a higher value. I repeat, sense of proportion is making an intelligent exception to the value only for upholding a higher value. Now, let us say you have to get up daily early in the morning and do yoga or study. And this you have taken upon yourself. This is called as a value. And at any cost you have to follow it. Because any value we practice, we tend to compromise when there is a chance. See, those who do Sandhya Vandanam or Sandhya Puja, daily you have to do. This is what is given in the Shastras and this is what your duty is. It is not that doing that is a punya, but without doing you will incur papa. That sort of a nitya karma it is. But any chance, today there is a talk, let me skip today. Anything that is the first thing that we compromise is what we have taken up for the spiritual thing only. Okay. So Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true. We try to be true to all the people around us, which is not possible. Every time you try to please others, one person you will please, another person you will not please, then you try to please that person. Ultimately, you are being untruthful to all and more importantly to yourself. The converse is, you be true to yourself, then you cannot be false to any person. What is being true to yourself? Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. You must practice these values as night follows the day. Night follows the day means regularly, routinely, without any break, whatever you have undertaken, you have to do. So if you have taken up yoga for yourself, if you have undertaken study for yourself, you do it at all cost. But one day, as an exception, if somebody comes to airport or Howrah station and you have to go and receive them, that day you don't say that, let them wait, I will only study. No. That day you skip the study, go there and receive them on time. This is sense of proportion. So you make an intelligent exception to the rule. Why? The higher value of entertaining a guest or something is taken priority there. So this, without proportion, the value loses its value. I am giving an example of what our Swamiji practiced in his own life. Right from his young age, he practiced not eating in between meals. This is a good value. In this country, particularly eating, which is very important, and anybody gives anything at any point of time, we tend to take in and eat it. Animals don't do it actually. If the stomach is upset for a dog, it will not eat, it will cure itself in some way. But we don't want to hurt others, so we say, okay, and you treat your stomach like some dustbin. You keep on pouring. Now, it is not that you have to be impolite or rude to them, but you can always say, okay, I'll keep it and eat it with my lunch or something like that. You can always have a way of balancing it. Now, this he has been practicing. Why this is important? We said value has a reason. Our stomach and the digestive system acts like a machinery, and it has to be given that proper overhauling every time. So therefore, in the days, the particular times it works, and then in the fasting day or something it works. So it is like that, it is maintained. So that is why it is a value. So one day he goes to Hong Kong for a lecture, and there is an old devotee who has been waiting for 1 year for Swamiji's visit. He had no time except to go in the evening there, and then with all her devotion she gives a sweet. No, I don't eat in between meals. You can't say that at that time. You make an intelligent exception to the rule and have the sweet. Maybe you can adjust your dinner accordingly, whatever you do that later. But here, not hurting the sentiment of a devotee, with all her love and affection, she is waiting for 1 year to do this, that you accept. That you accept. This is an intelligent exception. Now I extend this example just to prove a point. With all her love and devotion, if that lady had given a non-vegetarian food, will he eat? Probably no. Why? The value of respecting the lives of other creatures takes even more precedence here. So, not in between, eating in between meals is a value. Having the sentiment for a devotee's devotion is a value. Not killing animals and abstaining from meat eating is a value. In which order you follow, that will decide the sense of proportion. So, sense of proportion adds value to the value. So, you will find that all the values that are given enhance your progress towards the goal. That is why if a person speaks a lie, then he has to keep, first of all it will be agitating for him. More than that, in order to protect the lie, you have to say 10 more lies in 10 different contexts. And again to protect it, it is a constant headache. Rather, if you speak truth, the truth takes care of itself. As I said, not hurting others is ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma. That is a value, because by not hurting others, I am not hurting myself. Similarly, self-control, various values are given. Now, as we said, all these must be understood in the context, particularly of Vedanta, in spirit. See, we'll, in the time that is there, maybe quickly we'll go to these three values only. At the physical level, brahmacharya, we say. Brahmacharya means, it is understood as celibacy. Celibacy means abstinence from sex. That is one aspect of it. But that alone is not the meaning. The deeper meaning is one who walks on the path of Brahman and one who is able to have sense control over himself. Rather than the objects controlling me with my intellect, I am able to exercise control over that, then I am walking in the path of Brahmacharya. We all know the great avatars, Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. Lord Rama, though he was son of Dasharatha, was married only to one, that is Sita, and he maintained his brahmacharya throughout his life. Even in thought, he will not think of others. Even after Sita goes to forest again, he remains like that only, is the greatness of Lord Rama. But we don't call Rama by that name. Who gets the title of brahmachari, and that too a Nitya brahmachari, is Krishna. And we know the number of wives Krishna had. And the official count itself is 16,100 plus the 8 queens. Not to talk of other gopis and Radha. And why is he called? In fact, such a big number is given for us to think. One day the queens are wanting to cross the river and go to the other side to pay respects to sage Durvasa. And the Yamuna is flooded. So they ask Krishna, what is the way? You go and tell Yamuna that if Durvasa is Nitya Upavasi, then it will give way. Durvasa is famous for eating, apart from curses. He is very famous for eating. He will come with 10,000 disciples and eat the food. If they are not there, he is capable of digesting all their food also. Like that he eats. But he is called Nitya Upavasi. They were confused. But they said, and the Yamuna gave way. On the way back, again the Yamuna is flooded, so they ask the Rishi, what is the solution? You say, if Krishna is a Nitya Brahmachari, then let there be way. Now they are confused. But since the Rishi says, they say, and Yamuna gives way. What does this mean? Krishna, though he is married so many women, has that quality of not getting the passion incited within him, even when provoked. So by himself he always remains a yogi. Therefore brahmacharya is not only with reference to what the physical activities are, but where your thoughts are. And that he maintained, that he practiced. So Krishna is called as a Nitya Brahmachari. So brahmacharya is much more than abstinence from sex. Ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma. It is much before even Lord Buddha and Mahavira that ahimsa is given in the Upanishads. It is a great value. Not even wanting to hurt others. That is the important thing. It is not just stopping at the level of the physical cruelty of not hurting others. You will not even want to hurt a mosquito or a fly. But is this practically possible? When the Islamic conquest of Somnath happened, he invaded many times, he was thrown out like a mosquito. But then the last time what happened? They surrounded their own army with the cows, and Hindus will not kill cows. And they right royally walked in and occupied the throne. They might even have killed the same cows and had a beef festival for their ceremony. But the point is, with that sentiment of not killing a cow, we have lost the nation. This is a sense of proportion again. So ahimsa is just not non-killing, but non-injurious attitude. See, some people like particularly Jains, they cover the mouth and not want to kill germs. It's a fantastic quality. Fantastic awareness, I should say. But you can kill others or hurt others by your words. Thiruvallur says that the problem that is caused by hurt is much more than the wound that is caused by the fire. So that is himsa. How you take a flower or, the way in which you pick it up shows whether it is himsa or ahimsa. So it is not to be taken as merely non-killing only, because it is non-injurious attitude. Because without injury you cannot survive. When you boil tea, you are killing germs. When you keep your kitchen clean, you will kill cockroaches. Should you do or should you not do? When mosquito bites, what you should do? So therefore, that is why they kept this practice of ahimsa at the highest level. For sannyasis differently. Their awareness is different. That for them to pluck a fruit also from the tree is like himsa. That is how they practice. So, if a child is unruly, the child is bitten by a dog, and it is not cooperating for the injection, then the mother or the father has to forcibly do something to get this they do. Why? Out of love for the child. So, Shakespeare says again in Hamlet, I am sometimes cruel only to be kind. So, spare the rod and you will spoil the child. So, himsa therefore has to be proportionately practiced if you really love that person. Indiscriminate ahimsa that way is not recommended. That is ahimsa. So, all the gods and goddesses we said have weapons because they are ready to fight. Everybody is ready to fight. So, to some people it will cause. See, Osama bin Laden was killed by America and its forces. Was it himsa or ahimsa? For him and the people around him, it is himsa. For the world at large, it is good. That is ahimsa. Then thirdly, at the intellect's level, satyam. Satyam is understood as truth, but it is not merely speaking truth alone. Speaking truth is one aspect of it which is good. But intellectual honesty is satyam. Satyam is to follow your conviction and conscience at all points of time. A girl is being chased by rowdies and she has entered your home and they are asking, where is that lady? Here only she is. Go. That is not satyam. That is not speaking truth. It's not going to get you any punya. It is to use your intellect and be honest to yourself. And we said, what is being honest to oneself? Following what you believe as your conviction. Conviction is that you set as your goal in life. If you have any dilemma or confusion whether you should do or not, keep your mind calm and listen to the voice of your conscience. Conscience, like magnetic compass, will never fail. It will always show the north direction. Conscience is what we call as antaratma or manasakshi that they say in Tamil. Is this that which will always point out to the truth. So following the conviction and conscience is the life of truth. So these are the values that we need to practice, and by practicing this, we go towards the goal of self-realization. So once again on the Navaratri occasion, we bow down in reverence to the Goddess Supreme, and through her grace, let us all realize the self in this lifetime itself. Thank you. Namo Parameshwara.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. ராமசுவாமிஜி இன்னைக்கு பேசினது நான் அது பாயிண்ட் பை பாயிண்ட் சொல்லவே வேண்டாம். அது தமிழில் ஒன்று இருக்குது, உள்ளங்கை நெல்லிக்கனி போலேன்னு. அது மாதிரி அவர் எவ்வளோ அழகாக பேசினார்னா அந்த வேல்யூஸ் பற்றி அவர் பேசினார் இன்னைக்கு. And the values is in relation to the goal. What is the goal you are setting? That is very important. So, the very important thing is the goal, one the self-realization which will give us permanent bliss. Our Sachidananda Paripurna Nilaya Kudukkradhu nammaloda goal engiradhu namakku therinjikkanum first. அப்பதான் நம்ம வேல்யூஸை செட் பண்ண முடியும். இப்போ நம்ம வந்துட்டு இப்போ சைனா வந்துட்டு இப்போ இந்தியாவை ஆக்கிரமிக்கணுங்கிற மாதிரி அவனுக்கு கோல் இருந்ததுன்னா அப்புறம் அவனோட வேல்யூ சிஸ்டமே வேற மாதிரி இருக்கும். சிம்பிள் லாங்குவேஜில் சொல்ல போச்சுன்னா. ஸோ அது நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் செட் பண்ணிக்கணும். வாட் இஸ் அவர் கோல்னு அந்த வேல்யூஸ் அக்கார்டிங்லி வி வில் ஹேவ் டு செட் என்கிறது தான் அவர் இவ்வளோ அழகாக சொன்னார். அண்ட் இந்த வேல்யூஸ் ஆல்சோ ஒரு சென்ஸ் ஆஃப் ப்ரப்போர்ஷன் இருக்கணுங்கிறதையும் அவர் ரொம்ப அழகாக இன்னைக்கு விவரித்து நமக்கு சொன்னார். பட் வி கேன் ஹாவ் அ லிட்டில் ஹியூமர் ஹியர். அவர் வந்துட்டு வெப்பன்ஸ் பற்றி சொன்னார், எல்லா சுவாமிகளோட வெப்பன்ஸ் பற்றி. இப்போது ராமசுவாமி இவர் இங்கே இருக்கார், கார்த்திகேயன் நான் இங்கே இருக்கேன். உங்களுக்கு ஒரு தெரியும், இவர் ராமசுவாமி, நான் கார்த்திகேயன் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். இப்போ நீங்கள் யோசிச்சு பாருங்கோ, இந்த காட் கார்த்திகேயன் ஆர் காட் ராமசுவாமி ரெண்டு பேரும் பக்கத்தில் பக்கத்தில் நடந்து போறா வித்தவுட் வில் அண்ட் வித்தவுட் வேல். உங்களால் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியுமா? ஸோ அந்த வெப்பன் தான் அவளை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றது. ஆக்சுவலி கார்த்திகேயன் ராமசுவாமியை நடந்து போனா இந்த காட் ராமசுவாமி அண்ட் கார்த்திகேயன் அவளை ஆக்சுவலி ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றது இந்த வெப்பன். பட் தட் வெப்பன் வி வில் ஹேவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் இட் இஸ் எய்ம் டுவர்ட்ஸ் த ஈவில் என்கிறது நம்ம அதை நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும்ங்கிறத சொல்லிட்டு இன்னைக்கு ரியலி வி ஹேட் வெரி டூ ப்ரொஃபவுண்ட் டாக்ஸ் பை சுவாமிஜி அண்ட் ராமசுவாமிஜி. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். அவளோட இந்த பிஸி ஷெட்யூல் வச்சுட்டு அது சொல்லவே வேண்டாம். நான் அது சொன்னேன், இஸ் அவர் நெக்ஸ்ட் டோர். இவர் சங்கர ஹால் எப்போ கூப்பிட்டாலும் அவர் ஒரு தரம் கூட இல்லைன்னு சொல்லாம வந்திருக்கார். ஆஸ் அ மேட்டர் ஆஃப் ஃபேக்ட் we even called him at the last minute. அப்பவும் அவர் வந்து நமக்கு நடத்தி கொடுத்திருக்கார். இங்கிறத சொல்லிட்டு அவருக்கு மீண்டும் மீண்டும் நல்ல ஒரு தீர்காயுளும் இது மாதிரி இந்த சனாதன தர்மத்தை அவர் வேதாந்தம் பியூர் வேதாந்தத்தை பரப்புறதுக்கும் அவருக்கு நீண்ட ஆயுளையும் கொடுத்து இதையும் கொடுக்கணும். சாரதாம்பா ஜெகத்குரு வேணிண்டு அவருக்கும் இப்போ பிரசாதம் நமக்கு கொடுத்து நம்ம ஆனர் பண்ணணும். Ramesh will be proposing the vote of thanks for today's inauguration program. Thank you. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆரத்தி, அதுக்கப்புறம் எல்லாரும் பாரதி போஜனாலயா. அண்ட் நாளைக்கு நவராத்திரி ஆரம்பம். நோட்டீஸ் இருக்கு, யார்கிட்ட நோட்டீஸ் இல்லையோ வாங்கிட்டு போங்கோ. கார்த்தாலேருந்து சாயங்காலம் வரைக்கும் சங்கர ஹால் அப்படின்னு வந்துருங்கோ. தேங்க்யூ. ராம் ராம்.
ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. I take this opportunity as always to first bow down with gratitude to the Guru Parampara, but for whom we would all not be gathered here and spending such lovely times with people like Swami Sukdevanandaji and Sri Ramaswamy. They, to a very, to a listener like me, both of them touched on topics which are so relevant to our lives today, reminding us that our culture, through which you imbibe values, and it is those values which will take our lives forward. First let me also thank Karthikeyan, because Swami Sukdevanandaji before leaving clearly mentioned and told me to inform Karthikeyan that he is not being able to take his leave in person. But we are grateful to Karthikeyan because Swamiji clearly said, but for Karthikeyan insisting like this, I would not have been possible to come on today because we had other engagements. So coming back to talking about values, he was also telling me that please talk about all these to your children. Then I had to tell him, today's children are very different. They don't listen, but they see, they watch. If they see you doing, they prefer an example better than percept. You giving them gyan, Google helps them give more gyan back to you. Today's Google makes them more, I really do not know, knowledgeable, but yes, access to information. How much they understand, they don't understand, I'm not sure. But it is places like Sankara Hall, it is places like, it is the functions like Sharada Navaratri, where when we come, we get the atmosphere to imbibe the culture which helps us gain those values, which is what is the most important thing in our life. And once, also I would request all of you to please bring your family members, whoever they are. Even if the children, they are there, bring them for one day to come and bow down and go on whichever day is convenient to them. Let them look at it like, come here. And please bring them possibly during, the dinner time where they can also partake some bit of prasad and go, if that is the lure, right? So I take this opportunity to thank all of you for coming and making today's evening function a grand success. From tomorrow morning, we have at 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It starts off with, as usual,